be the best damn lover you got. I wanna mess up your covers. I don't wanna meet your mother. Never ever ask me how I've been. Remember why you have my number. I'm the best thing that has ever happened to you. Here's your time to shine. Now show me what you can do. The way my hands feel on your body, the way we're dancing in the dark. With every move I make, you're falling. The way my lips feel on your body, the way we're moving in the dark. With every breath we take, you're falling. I ain't got no time for romance, but baby I don't want to lead you on. Not looking for something steady, not ready for that. I'm the best thing that has ever happened to you. Here's your time to shine. Now show me what you can do. Make a move. The way my hands feel on your body, the way we're dancing in the dark. With every move I make, you're falling. The way my lips feel on your body, the way we're moving in the dark. With every breath we take, you're falling. Every breath that we're taking, with every step you're falling in love. With every move that I'm making, every breath that we're taking, with every step you're falling in love. With every move that I'm making, I'm the best thing that has ever happened to you. Here's your time to shine. Now show me what you can do. Make a move. The way my hands feel on your body, the way we're dancing in the dark. With every move I make, you're falling. The way my lips feel on your body, the way we're moving in the dark. With every breath we take, you're falling. Every breath that we're taking, with every step.
Good morning, everybody. The sun is shining. There's an extra intensity energy in the atmosphere. And I've even put on a shirt. It can only mean one thing. It's finals day here at the Elite Invite. We are live in Leuven all day. We're going to find out who's going to take this early season crown and book their wild card spot to EUCF. But before we can work that out, we've still got the matter, I should say. I just did a nice little whoosh in there of the matter and the battle of our mixed division finalists to sort out. Behind us, an all-English encounter between Deep Space and Lemmings. But here on the showcase field, we've got Nullacht of Germany taking on France's Sesquidistus. And bringing you this one, I am Benjamin Rees, and I am joined by the inimitable, I'll go with this morning, Hannah Pendlebury. Good morning, Hannah.
Good morning, Benji. And might I say, you are looking extremely dashing in your finals day shirt. But almost as dashing as the players on the pitch. They are, of course, Sesquidistus and Nullacht. And I'm super excited because I've not had a chance to commentate on Nullacht so far this season, though I have been watching their progress. Of course, this new team to the German mixed scene this season, Munich-based, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll have to double check exactly where in Germany they're from, because my radar temporarily escapes me. We saw them, I think, begin to make waves last season. They took a spot to EUCF, nicking it off maybe some more fancied comers. You've done a little bit of digging. Appears Munster, maybe.
Well, that's yeah. Well, we'll figure this out. You're looking over my shoulder. I don't know if that top Google research
it's number one on Google. It must be right? It's like SEO. That search.
That one doesn't mention any ultimate frisbee, so that might be a bit of a red herring, as it were. But in any case, very excited to watch these two tussle, because we of course are in semi-final stages for the mixed division. We already know who's going to be in finals for Open and Women's, of course, because mixed is the jewel in the crown this season. Although some are calling it a little bit of a flawed gem. Maybe a couple of teams leaving the division. Of course, we have Sesquidistus at this elite invite. because of the fact that other teams didn't prioritise this event in their registration. Some cancelled after being invited. Sesquidistus was ranked 17th after the last year's results and got the invitation after all of the EUCF teams declined / were not interested in coming here and see themselves all their way into semi-finals. So what an absolute result. And of course, the man on your screen is a big part of the reason why Sesquidistus are at this stage in the tournament. Gaël Ancelin, of course, Leuven Petitot, of course, also big on the stats board for Sesquidistus, because those two lads together really are a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, we'll see. Judging from the line they've got out there, I believe Sesquidistus are going to begin the game by receiving the ball and will start on offence. Both of these sides boast 3-1 records coming into this contest. For Sesquidistus, 15-11 over Disconnection. We streamed their 15-11 victory over Tartu Turbulence, and then they went down 15-10 to Deep Space before an all-French quarter-final they triumphed 15-12 over the Penguins Le Manchot. For Nullacht, in that topsy-turvy Pool B, 15-12 lost to Reading in the morning, which we also streamed. They bounced back with a 15-13 victory over Lemmings. 15-10 they polished off Manchot, and then a real swinger of a game. They just about escaped past Tartu Turbulence on Universe 14-13 to take their spot in this semi-final, and Benoit Lubert temporarily lost that one in the sun, so he elects just to let the pool hit the floor, and we're underway here. Mixed semi-final action live from Elite Invite. Nullacht going with some zone early on just to try and... I say zone, I think it's just a handler sag really on that second spot, trying to flash in, get into position, muddy up lanes downfield. Lubert has an opportunity to put this one deep for Petitot, but that ain't it, Chief.
Well, perhaps a little bit extra warm-up required there for the arm of Benoit Lubert. Obviously a very capable shooter.
It was interesting, sorry, just going to say that for their warm-up, they were playing, just like mini short field, and the one thing with that, yes, it gets you really good at the red zone practice, but it doesn't necessarily warm up the deep throws.
So just a little bit of discussion as to whether disc will come in, and it's Nick Schultz to start us off.
Schultz, leader down this sideline, into space. Is it going to be shot? It was, but it wasn't quite on target. We're looking for Falca, but slightly overthrown. Badontan was there just doing some defensive coverage as well. Nice break side shot, and I don't hate the look. I think it's right to go, but puts too much air underneath it deep, and Simon Haser will be frustrated that was not an opening break.
I think that's Emma Falca of the German women's national team,
Unless you know of a different Emma Falca, I believe so. Was one of the bronze medal winning contingent for Germany's women at under-24s last year in Nottingham. It is that Emma Falca, by the way. Obviously, you were right. Never doubted you for a second.
Well, you clicked open her player survey and just double-checked.
It was just to see if she had any other national team experience. I backed you, I promise. Ancelin. Big fake and goes to his, I think, comfort blanket of Petitot down the far sideline. Lubert lays out and snags. And that is going to be a foul. He calls it somewhat frustratedly.
Well, there was a lot of movement in towards each other as far as I saw it live. You kind of are going for that big aggressive pivot, is Lubert.
And it's one of those from Peperhofer where he's leaning backwards a little bit, but he is in the grill there, so to speak. So I understand the foul call.
And I understand why I wanted to just move away for a minute and recompose.
Lubert. Ancelin in the backfield, looking for the throw and go, which he's so proficient at. The bid comes in, doesn't get there. And is it going to end up in Ancelin's hands? Somehow it does. All that Flutterguts practice coming in handy. Ancelin shoots the break to Kiki Gay, and Sesquidistus opening up with a very muddy hold, I think. 1-0.
Well, that is a, hopefully, shape of things to come in terms of the intensity of the defence applied both ways. but visionary find from Gaël Lancelot. That's what he does best, though, of course. Such a capable player, such an experienced athlete, huge part of the French World Games team, and of course that gold medal winning outfit as well last season at EUC. And what a mixed final that was, Benji.
Wasn't it just? It was the potential to be a really close game on paper, but the French mixed side were just on another level. They got pushed at times during that tournament, and I think it really helped. Anselan, they're having maybe rode his luck a little bit as it comes in and out and in and out. He then chooses to open things up, rolling that backhand towards the break side, and another feather in the cap there of Kylian Gay.
Oh, I love that little spin celebration as well on the fingertips.
Getting some overhead angles from the drone as Sesquidistus now on defence. Nullacht's first O-line, and they're not going to get a clean hold either. In and out of Camfurt's hands.
Yeah, that wasn't very comfortable.
See what he did there. Bru picks up. Such an imposing figure after the turn. Orchestrating for the D-line offense. Bru powers up line, there's separation. Throw leads to space. Tessier just, I think, clouds things up in the open side, so Bru through the hands of Lachi, and now into Michon. Michon to Bru, stuck that one well under tight pressure. She's often want to do, calling for that organisation in the end zone. Let's give ourselves clear spaces to attack. Lachi. Bru pivots, nice throw will lead her to space. But struggling to find the separation they want downfield. That I don't think is going to stand up because of a call away from the disc.
Yeah, foul call. I think Sebastian Schreiber getting a bit bumped into here by the moves. Sort of does try to avoid walking through his hips, but I think Michon just got a little bit too much inside there.
And it absolutely has affected because Bru ended up throwing it right over his head. So you'd expect it to go back.
Contested foul?
Yep. Particularly formidable left hand.
Indeed.
You know, in football, the traditional adjective is he's got a cultured left foot. Do you think Bru's got a cultured left hand?
I mean, she can be a bit spicy, that magic athlete. Certainly very experienced, though.
Bru with the blade, going to take it away from the defenders, sitting in the space for Carla Eller. And Sesquidistus have an early break as well. 2-0 they lead. Nice D-line offense there.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting one. They sort of had a cluster of players moving towards the break side there in the eventual scoring pass. You see that kind of line cut go, sort of distracting everybody. But a little bit of flat-footedness after the stoppage, perhaps, for some of the defenders of Nullacht, because that one sat and hung for quite a while.
Yeah, it did indeed.
But 2 on the bounce, first break for Sesquidistus. So Sesquidistus all just getting hydrated. Nullacht very ready to get their next point underway.
Yeah, it's a lovely day here again in Leuven. Been beautiful all weekend. Ideal frisbee conditions, in all honesty.
Certainly is, Benji. And of course we have the other semi-final on our single camera stream with remote commentary for you. The All England affair, the Leamington Lemmings battling against Deep Space.
Yeah, we've flown in Sean Colfer especially to call that one. We haven't, he's doing it from home, but it's lovely to have his voice with us anyway. Lemmings with a 2-1 lead, early stages of that one as well. Mixed final, by the way, taking place this afternoon at 2:30. I might have to double check that. but I think that's right.
Yes, 2:30.
Thank you. Schreiber on the far sideline, sitting it into space in the centre. Schenk will do a lot of the dirty work for them as there's a collision downfield.
Yeah.
Brew in amongst it again.
We're getting a lot of, I think, just loose physicality going on in the early stages of this game. That's the third sort of big old bump. And obviously, all of the players on the field, because, you know, at this level especially, spirit of the game is still a strong part of it.
Well, it should be at every level, of course.
I know, but people say, you know, it starts to drift away when you get to the elite stages. But everyone is trying to avoid contact as Schultz tries to lay out to regain that possession.
Schenk just trying to show a little bit of creativity and maybe too creative that time.
Well, Schenk wasn't playing last weekend. The border athlete had a bit of an illness, so maybe that's still a little bit residual.
As Brew puts it deep and it's well tracked by Anis Maubourguet. John Kofi calls for calm. Brew comes through again. She really is the orchestrator on the turn, isn't she? Kofi, oh, the shake and bake, the quickness, the first step explosion. And John Kofi catches the break. Seski 3-0 up in a hurry.
Oh, I don't know, Benji. This doesn't look rushed to me at all. That was just really lovely humming and clicking offense for Sesquidistus, especially that went downfield to Maubourguet. Maubourguet just, yeah, there's not really too much to say about that. That was just class. And as you say, Justine Brew, this quarterback of the D-line offense, and you can see exactly why they put her in that position. Just European champions twice in 2023.
Yeah, won the gold with France at EUC in the mixed division, as you mentioned earlier. We about their success there, and also captured gold at EMUC, the European Masters Ultimate Championships, out in Bologna at the end of the campaign. They took down Great Britain in a scintillating final there.
And John Kofi there, he promised us that he'd give us plenty of Ds for our live stream, but that one just an easy goal in the end. Just uses that first step explosive speed. Benji, as you already mentioned, the old shake and bake.
And it's handy when you play a lot of individuals as well, because it means that you've got that that ability to toe in on those high grabs as well. Nullacht need to get something cooking quickly, going with the isolation to start. And a bit of a chase down required, but Fass has it anyway. Resetting through Schaefer. Michon tries to stick a hand in there, but Ostertag. Stoppage.
Yeah, just a discussion here. The stall that Michon started, basically Ostertag is just saying that you can't start stalling until I come back in the pitch. Is
that true? I thought you could.
I don't believe so. I think you can start stalling as soon as the catch is made.
Fass. Just past the poach, Ostertag. Won't get a chance to clean it up because Michon with a delicate little slap out of the sideline.
Yeah, again, no, that's just looking. Well, we talked about how Sesquidistus don't look rushed, Benji. I think, especially now that they're 3 points to nothing, they are looking very hurried and scrabbly.
Gwen Tessier. Floated down the far sideline, nice reaching grab made there by Pierre-Alexandre Monet. And that was a little bit of a work of art from Monet. Thank you very much. Ella. Back to Lachi. Utilising the dump swing well, the good fundamentals from Sesquidistus, the easy break side swing, that is textbook stuff. Ella punches it into Michon. It's 4-0 Sesquidistus, and no surprise to see Nullacht use their first time out, because they need to get a hold of this game and they need to fast, or that final stream is long gone.
Yeah, Benji, they are really running away with it at this stage. Every time we say Ella or Elle, I just want to think of Rihanna, Umbrella, Ella, A, and she does swing this one open, wide open. Let's get another look at that piece of art from Monique on our replays reel. But yeah, at the moment, Sesquidistus just really in flow, enjoying themselves out here, this Strasbourg side. Would you believe they didn't qualify for this last year, Benji, for the EUCF? What a change. But let's see if the Nullacht can change their fates. They have a lot of talent on their roster. They just need to refocus themselves.
Can they put it all together? We'll see when we come back off the timeout.
Yes, he will. The lovely did.
Elite Invite, the jewel in the crown of early season European Ultimate. 8 of the best in the open, mixed and women's divisions out here on the lush Leuven grass. And Sesquidistus are looking pretty lush so far. 4-0 they lead Nullacht here, and the Germans having to take the time out as that ball just about lands out of bounds, so they will at least get to bring it in from the brick mark.
Yeah, do you know why these pitches are so lush, Benji?
Is it because the weather's been terrible from the winter in Belgium, so they've not had much use?
Yes.
Unfortunately, I am having, when I'm not doing frisbee, for those not in the know, I do a lot of non-league football, and I wish I could say the same because there's been a lot of cancellations. Those pitches have not held up anywhere near as well as these, so even though the weather has been terrible, it's still a real job to maintain them. Sorry to steal your thunder, Hannah. Pepperhover. It's got a little dish off to Schenk. Nice switch passed off there between Ancelan and Tessier, but that is a narrow window. But the blade down the sideline will belatedly put Nullacht on the board.
Well, as long as you turn up eventually, but you're going to have to really turn up the heat. I mean, at the moment, we've barely seen Sesquidistus' O-line. They, of course, started this game with that dirty hole. Took them a little while to get going, but since that moment, it's been nothing but net for their D-line. Another look at that beautiful arcing roll curve forehand throw, hitting Pepperhover in stride, the 22-year-old. And yes, this is indeed a Munster-based team. Of course, lots of the male matching athletes out here for Nullacht coming out of that Bora side that we saw last weekend at Tom's Tourney.
The Bears?
Yes. They have excellent sock game though. I really want some Bora socks.
I like that.
Really want some Bora socks. They promised me they're going to make it happen, but Benji, I haven't seen no socks yet.
Well, it's just manifestation of destiny. I talked enough about those red and blue check hoops for years, and eventually one found its way into my possession.
But yeah,
So-
Pepperhover been playing since he was 11 years old.
So that's half his life by this point for the
Correct.
22-year-old.
Correct.
So Sesquidistus' O-line, having not taken the field for a while, do they have maybe a little bit more sharpness? Ancelan, demonstrative fakes. Still rising, finds a pass into the centre. Barontan snatches before falling to the floor. Wipes a little bit of grass on her right hip. Let's get some of that excess moisture, because as you might expect at this time of the morning, there is some dew in the surface.
You're not careful. I mean, they've already taken the game very far away. It's like a distant blip in the distance, like a mirage in a desert with no water. But if you believe anything is possible, especially when you have those younger athletes that can really just grind themselves through here in semi-finals, but it's going to be quite the ask. especially because Nullacht are not quite firing on their shots as well on offense. They are giving the disc away repeatedly. That one goes into Ostertag's hands.
Yeah, fielded it low to the ground, but was able to field successfully. Schenk sitting one out into space. Enough of a contest in it from Lachi, and Comfort couldn't wrap her right hand around it.
Yeah, that's a real shame. I mean, that was a tricky one to reel in, for sure. But certainly, Comfort is the calibre of athlete that we'd expect her to make those catches. Does have to go behind, though. As you say, Lachi putting on fantastic pressure and great positioning.
Etienne Michon down the sideline to Maubourguet, looking, but there's not a huge amount of work developing downfield. Resets, happy to lose the yardage to keep the disc moving. Tessier, who, at the risk of sounding stereotypical, does look very French. Kind of the slightly designer stubble, maybe the hair tied back behind the head.
Very French for frisbee player, I guess. It is definitely a vibe. I know what you mean, Benji. A lot of those go for the man bun approach.
Anis Maubourguet. Diligent dump, swing, reset work being done by Sesquidistus as ever. Planting for the upline, then going back into the backfield. Swing available. They're just happy to pendulum their way side to side as they slowly matriculate the disc down the field. Big old monster munch taken out on the force, but disc did not go. Resets with the left hand. Patience, the virtue here for Sesqui. Coming free underneath again is Maubourguet. Now the shot comes, and it shouldn't have, because Nullacht are able to pick it back. So calm, so patient, until that very first end zone shot. Nullacht pick it back, and Nullacht take the time out.
Yeah, you can see a lot of players with their hands on their knees there, just trying to recover after the big old grind that was. We talked about this in the game yesterday against Malchaux for Sesquidistus. They have this style of stack offense where they're quite far away from the disc and they take their turns, they kind of cut one at a time, they don't all go together. And there is an opportunity, a ripe opportunity, I think, Benji, for those poachers off. That one a little bit too much of just a throwing with instinct rather than really paying attention, and Schultz takes advantage.
6-2, Sesquidistus in the lead now. Nullacht trying to claw their way back into this one. Mixed semi-final action here at a lead invite.
Come on, break!
Semi-final action in the mixed division at Elite Invite. Sesquidistus sitting pretty, 6-2 up against Nullacht. Their second possession of this point, and they are taking the time out because things are not going to plan. In the other semi-final behind us, by the way, Deep Space now in the lead on Lemmings, 5-4.
Ooh. Well, we're guaranteed some UK action in our Elite Invite final this year. Much similar to last season, but will it be a German or French opponent, Benji?
At the moment, you'd be hard-pressed to bet against Sesquidistus, I think. There's the deep shot from Nullacht. 3 Sesqui players converge in the area. And in the end, they don't need to do anything because the sideline was right there. But, hey, you get into position, you make sure that there's no way they're going to come past you and attempt a greatest or look for a toe in, and as soon as the shot went up, Sesquidistus just swarmed underneath it.
Yeah, it's a spicy shot, but I mean, Gideon Schenk is a big old target to hit. 192 centimetres for the man originally from Beckham. so someone that's going to draw lots of attention. But that throw did not make it very far at all. Enslant on the far sideline will signal where that one went out of bounds, and a short field opportunity for Sesquidistus. Now, Benji, this is what I was talking about before. Have a look at this offence and see how Sesqui move one at a time. They don't really try and flood, they just try and use isolations, but there's going to be opportunities to poach off. You see Schenk doing exactly that.
And the space was well found with that crafty scuba to the space. Michon. Mobogue comes off the front, shoots to the end zone. Gwenel Tessier makes it 7-2. Sesquidistus are rampant right now, Hannah.
Interesting with the forces there. I wasn't actually sure which way Nullacht were trying to force Sesquidistus there. I think maybe a bit of force middle to try and stop some of the upline attention and the momentum that Sesqui like to use to generate sometimes the force on the big hucks that they like to put up. But either way, really lovely focus and poise from Sesquidistus. Get another look at Michon here. Sets that one up nicely. Beautiful execution, the hockey assist. A little bit of float on it, but there was enough space for Monet.
Well, Tessier is one of the more long-tenured players, I think I'd say. He's got a bit more ultimate under his belt than some of the players out there. 37 years old, played both in the mixed and open divisions, picked up a gold medal for the French Open side at the World Beach Ultimate Championships in 2017 in his home nation, out on the sands of Royan. He's played alongside under, I should say, coach Steph Rapazzo for his Is No Good days. Listed sporting hero is Cassidy Rasmussen, the long-time revolver and USA cutter. Says he's a top versatile player and was always there in the difficult situation. Played against him in Worlds 2012 out in Sakai in Japan, and even though he was a young player at that point, he was already making a big impact.
And actually came to the sport a little bit later than average, did Tessier. Picked it up at the age of 23.
And that's older than some of these players are at the moment, so never shows that it's never too late to start, I think.
Absolutely, Benji.
He's a teacher by day, and that also helps when you've got a more experienced older player like that, especially someone who's used to teaching in their day job, because they really can help impart that knowledge and leadership on the rest of the group.
And then the next generation of ultimate there, just being cradled on the sideline. You don't have to play frisbee if you're the child of an ultimate athlete, but it helps.
Instantly lashed deep from Schultz. Big body on the sideline. And you could see the edge began to take it away. It looked like it was going to curve in, and then it folded the other way. And pressure underneath it prevented it going to hand.
I mean, it's a nice idea to try and get Mirko Peparova to just strike and hit the deep space, because he's a big target to hit, but you've got to throw more at just less float. That's all, less float.
The toss not getting any easier for Nullacht with Petitot on, and he's banging it to Ansalan, chasing it down and tried to milk it all the way to the end zone, but decided, no, we're just going to catch it short and sneak it into Bru's hands, and that's half with Sesquidistus 8-2 to the good. They could almost taste that final berth.
Indeed, Benji. That was exactly the kind of huck that you do want to throw to a big man in space. That kind of leading big pass. Plenty of air underneath it for Gaël Enslant to run down. Full field stretch. I mean, there's not a lot to really criticise about this, apart from perhaps the final sort of stitch in the line.
I think Ansalan could have milked that a little bit more. But I think maybe actually he was going too fast and the disc was running out of speed, and there's only so far you can milk it before you're just running into it. And you know what, I'll just catch it now because we can get it in on the next pass. And Sesqui sitting pretty. 8-2 they lead at half-time. Do Nullacht have a comeback in them? Well, It would be some comeback if they do, but we'll find out when we return for the elite invite. We'll see you on the other side.
Get there. Yes, he will. The lovely did.
Welcome back to the EUF Elite Invite 2024. We are here live in Leuven, and mixed semi-final action, I must say. Sesquidistus are looking mighty fine in the Belgian sun. 8-2 they lead at half. Benji Rees alongside Hannah Pendlebury.
Yeah, absolute pleasure to be with you here today, Benji. It's gorgeous weather, but I have to say, this morning, it's all been about Sesquidistus, just solar powered. They definitely came into this game with a very solid plan. You see a little bit of conversation happening between the two teams. Gaël Ancelot just chatting about the gender match in this point, I think. I can just about hear through my headset what's going on. So just doing a bit of administration, of course. The mixed division these days in Europe has been a long time playing the ABBA rule. So you start with one iteration, because of course if you're not familiar with how mixed ultimate is played in terms of the 7-a-side, so how many male matching or female matching athletes you have on the field, you have one ratio and then it flips to 2 points the next, then 2 points the original ratio, then 2 points, and so on and so forth until the game is over.
Quite appropriate using the ABBA rule, given that it's Eurovision weekend.
Were you watching last night, Benji?
No, I was not. I was too busy working, quite frankly. Deep shot now to open up the second half. Schenk gets there and gets a little bit of grief from Michon afterwards, rolling across the ankles, but picks himself up, pops it into the end zone. That is exactly what they would have been looking for to start the second half. Nullacht.
Well, it's a little bit scratchy, a little bit dirty, but it will be just fine. Let's get another look at that one taken down by Schenk. He catches a little bit of just collateral, but just steps up and pops the disc through to Louisa Kreifer, the trainee of sport and fitness trade, she says to herself. So a lot of these German athletes of the sort of younger ages, the university students, the German university system is very chilled out, Benji. It's actually kind of ideal for ultimate playing athletes. You don't have this kind of huge amount of pressure that you do in other places to quickly finish your bachelor's within 3 years. But of course, Kreifer, lots of experience. Was it again another part of that bronze medalist under 24 side in Nottingham last season? Started playing in secondary school because of a teacher that was in her programme. And so shout out to her family and her boyfriend watching at home.
I didn't do my bachelor in 3 years either, so maybe I'd have fitted right home in Germany. We do not need to ask why. Maëlle Barentin. It's the first Sesqui Open of the second half. Ancelan going short to Libert. Don't think was here on day one, but came for the Saturday and Sunday portion and has fitted right in. A little bit of a floater, but not a problem for the more diminutive Shane. Sesquidistus displaying those textbook fundamentals of offense as always. Now some air underneath it. Ansalan wants to go all the way and he can as well. The dairy is certainly open for the full fat milk with a little bit of cream on top as well. It's 7-3, 9-3 even. Excuse me. Medicine's her thing. Just keep going.
Well, this game continues in exactly the same fashion. Just Sesquidistus looking very, very well-oiled machine. Just, I really am enjoying the execution of their throws now. We had that first overthrow sort of starting the game, which was the, as far as I'm aware, the only turnover that the O-line of Sesquidistus has had so far. They've only been out on the field a couple of times, of course, because it's largely been about their breaks. And the clean breaks as well are aplenty. Half of the way through the game and only 6 more points left for Sesquidistus to put on the board before they can see themselves into finals. Nullacht will have something to say about that though. I really would like to see them be a bit more creative and take some gambles with some poachers when Sesquidistus are coming out on offense, but it's their own to hold right now for this young German side.
Yeah, the winner of this game plays the winner of our other semi-final. Going on behind us as Hermeking turns and bids, but it's not going to catch up to it before the sideline wins. That other semi-final, by the way, Lemming's back in front now, 7-5.
Oh, what a tussle. Of course, Deep Space yesterday finally did finish off their quarter-final matchup against Reading Ultimate and very nearly lost it.
Had to break on Universe to win. And we'll get into the full story of why in a second. Ella back to Laci. The run between themselves right now, and now Faromelli downfield. Gets his first stat of the weekend with the assist to Cedric Wagen through. It's 10-3. Sesquidistus. They're so hot right now.
That just makes me think of the SNL sketch. Sesquidistus, so hot right now.
So hot right now.
So hot right now.
But they are hot to trot.
Oh no, absolutely. And I mean, I think it's just that thing of they've got so much momentum behind them at this stage in the game that it gives you that sense of ease about how you're playing. Obviously, Sesquidistus are a really experienced team. Alouette, Faromelli, just putting that in, but it's really just a case of being confident, but also being mindful that this is sort of like your warm-up game, I guess, at this point for Sesquidistus. This is your warm-up game for finals, so it's about sort of executing things that you want to be replaying later on this afternoon. Not trying to run too hard, not trying to tighten your lines, shorten things up. We are certainly seeing a lot less of Gaël Oslan and Laurie Petitot and Maëlle Barentin than we did in their game yesterday against Marchand, which is obviously a much tighter affair. The Penguin side really pushing Sesquidistus all the way through that match.
I think this is a really good sign for the Strasbourg outfit, where they're getting some of the players who have maybe been on the peripherals of things this weekend more involved. You know, building their confidence up and making sure that they're still making positive, impactful contributions. Nullacht just swinging in their own end zone at the moment. The chase down for Berend. And through the hands. Feels like it's been that sort of game for Nullacht.
Yeah, lots of slip-ups. This time, it's not about the disc. It's just about the lack of focus and attention on the player. It happens, though. We've all been there where we've kind of gone to make a clap catch and suddenly, wait, where'd the disc go?
What's the phrase you christened for it?
Oh, the clap of doom.
The clap of doom.
Yeah. That wasn't quite a clap of doom, though, because I couldn't hear it from here. That's when it's really like the clap of doom, so you get that full, like, sonic boom in between your palms.
The sonic boom on the clap of doom. I like it. You're a poet, and you had no idea. Sesquidistus just seem so smooth and slick, like finely blended French chocolate. They are magnificent out there right now. Another clean break for them, 11-3. In this form, can anyone stop them?
I'm not sure it's chocolate as much as it might be like a nice like silky confiture, the jam on your breakfast, slice of baguettes, or maybe some pâté. Pâté is what I initially thought. Like,
Okay, yeah, I can go with it.
do you know that actually? So the pâté comes from medieval French cuisine, where they thought that by sort of pre-blending, i.e. masticating sort of the food, that you'd actually get more nutrients out of it.
Oh, I did not know that. Thank you very much. See, learning experience every day here at the Elite Invite. Nullacht rapidly trying to stop the game from escaping into the distance. Have Sesquidistus done the damage already? We'll find out. 11-3, Sesqui lead.
Come on, Brad!
11-3, Sesquidistus up on Nullacht here in this mixed semi-final. The other mixed semi-final on the field behind us, that's the one-cam Ulti-TV coverage with Sean Colfer on the remote comms. Lemmings have an 8-5 half-time lead. So could the West Midlands outfit be making their way to the Elite Invite final? As it stands, the answer to that is yes. Benjamin Rees and Hannah Pendlebury in the booth, and we've got Statman Sam to our right-hand side as well.
Indeed, wonderful volunteer crew here. Over 43 people helping out at this Elite Invite, and what a scene it's been. I love the 8-team format, Benji. I'm such a big fan.
Yeah, when you consider they've got open and women's teams here, they've sent a mixed team to G-Spot as well, to show us the depth and the strength of the communities that these Belgian clubs are able to create. As Herma King, see her go for the clap catch, and maybe went a little bit early because it ricocheted off the top of her fingers.
No, that one was a clap of doom. But this is symptomatic now for Nullacht. They're sort of just not really finding the magic this morning. They'll have to refocus and recenter themselves.
Maboguet is going to go deep, but not the option for now. There's the inside window. Could continue the break here to Wagentrutz, and they do. Maboguet continues to motor underneath, and Wagentrutz wants to take on that backhand down the side. Still count rising.
Oh, I love that push pass.
Yeah, the dish gets it off to Michon. This offense is a little bit workmanlike for Sesquidistus, and I don't mean that in a dismissive way at all. It's very impressive, the commitment to following the system, working it through, making good decisions as they float one too much, and that allows Schulte to come into block. What was I saying about good decisions? That was a rare misstep from Sesqui.
What was I saying about them needing to kind of be intelligent and poach? Sesquidistus do like to kind of put the spotlight on individual athletes at a time. They don't kind of have that flowing all together, but that's a sad miss. Milena Kintrup there goes for the full stretch snatch and just comes up empty-handed.
In and out of that left hand, and you can see the frustration rip across Kintrup's face. Second opportunity now for Sesquidistus, and again, still treating this with the utmost respect and diligence. They are not going to let any opportunities slip away if they can, so they're going to take another timeout here so they can cook something up offensively. What will they come up with? We'll see when Elite Invite returns.
Get there. Yes, he will. The lovely did.
Sesquidistus 11, Nullacht 3, and Sesquidistus trying to make it 12 now. They've got the disc coming off this time out on this sideline. Vertical stack set central. Lachi is the reset, with Monet bringing us back in. Didn't want the option down the line, so going to get some more lateral space. And now the swing across to Ella. Floater, who's going to come down with it? It's the German. Schulte gets his second block of the point.
Yeah, it's an interesting one in mixed because a lot of the time in open and women's you'd see a little switch off, the peel off the mark there, but Schulte has to kind of go touch for touch with the height there and uses it to devastating effect, but a devastating first throw miscue again. Nullacht just can't get the ship moving this morning.
Far too many freebies to give to a team of Sesquidistus' quality. This is the hardest their D-line has had to work to get the break. Their third possession. They've never needed more than 2 previously. That one might have the layout attempt. Monet, I think, didn't have the opportunity to quite fully commit to it. And a couple of errors just creeping into Sesquidistus' game. At this rate, it's not going to matter, but still frustrating for them.
Yeah, you could see that he hadn't quite hit full pace, so the kind of layout becomes more of a knee slide and doesn't quite get there.
On the far sideline with Kinterup. Has to reset to Schenk before Kinterup continues and gets back. Nice break around there to Schultz. He's done a lot of damage defensively on this point. How can he help them on the offensive side? Schreiber to Schenk. Hermiking off the front. Michon just flashes into the space to force the swing. Taken and then to Schulte. This looks a lot better from Nullacht. Feel like they've got some rhythm going offensively, but now they're trying to get the trap set up on the sideline. The break into space from Kampfert is too far.
I am a little bit disappointed there in the male matching players in the stack for Nullacht. There was a big old poach off, and so I think it was Schreiber who was completely unmarked for at least 3 seconds of the stall count, because his matchup had just decided to disappear to go and poach off and prevent Schenk, I think. It's a shame to not really capitalise on that and just give that free reset.
Peroz breaks towards this side, and there's frustration because evidently her teammates did not see the same space that she did.
It happens. Of course, got lovely game discs here. Yesterday, the Open Division managed to punch quite a considerable hole through one, Benji.
Poor Frisbee.
We'll go to the retirement home for damaged discs.
Schulte floats one into the backfield for Schenk. Still swinging on their own end zone line. Now Schulte. Seski doing a good job of taking away big plays and forcing the continual churn underneath. Hermiking, nice little run around that button hook style to create some space. Hermiking now to Schulte. Chooses to get it off the line. Now down to Schenk. They're in the red zone, Nullacht. Nice find inside of space, but that is going to be a pick, so it will not stand.
Yeah, okay, well this is more like it. We've got a lot of activity and a lot of noise as well from the Nullacht sideline finally, as they're starting to kind of just click and connect with each other.
Schenk rolls its wrist around a central pass to Schultz. Switch passed off a little bit late, allows the break, Grefa. Can she add an assist to a goal? Not yet. Nullacht just being continually made to grind it out underneath. There's the shot towards the end zone. There's a bit of float to it, and Michon, fully committed, was not going to let that one get by.
Oh, that's such a shame for Nullacht. They were so patient, really holding on here, and just that little bit too much spice. Schreiber thinking that it's out of position, but the longer you throw, the further you are away from your intended receiver, the more opportunity that the defender has to get back into position. And with someone like Etienne Michon hanging around over there, it's a difficult task to get around him.
The deep shot from Sesquidistus, trying to create some space, lost sight of it a little bit in the sun, but Mourbourguet is able to get behind the defence again. But she's lacking support, and the reset goes away. There was quite a lot of hang time on the deep shot, so I was surprised that there weren't more Sesqui players hustling to get into position.
Well, this is turning into another long drawn-out point, Benji, so maybe a little bit of exhaustion starting to get in. It is day 3 of play for the mixed division, although they have a nicer schedule, 2 games per day, as opposed to the slightly lopsided affair in open and women's, where you have a 3-1-1. Sorry, 3-2-1.
Yes, 3-2-1 and 2-3-1 for women's and open, respectively. Schenk zips the inside through to Schreiber. Back to Schenk. I wonder if that inside is now in your mind. Maybe it is, and that creates space for the around backhand. Hermikine back to Schenk. That cut could be thrown to, tries to get the poach off deep, and seems like he got it clean. Michon flashing across that floaty throw.
Yeah, again getting defended in exactly the same corner. Not learning their lesson from the previous offensive possession. It might look tasty, but they're putting too much float underneath a lot of these discs, whether they be long, deep hucks or just soft, silky inside throws. We're going to get Guy Lancelot coming in for Michon on the injury replacement.
Yeah, not sure quite what happened to Michon, but
I think it was the Nullacht player, so that's just the Sesquidistus replacement.
And Sesqui won't mind it being able to get a player like Ancelan on to really set his teammates straight and punch in the break. They've had numerous opportunities on this point.
Yeah, a couple of players maybe just haven't been so involved during the earlier course of this game. Just having a bit of miscues. But yeah, having Ancelan come on, he's going to marshal this, I'm sure.
Lemon's leading 9-6 in the other semi-final behind us, by the way.
Ooh.
Monet faked the big backhand, didn't want it just yet. Now he is going to go, looking for Ancelan, going up against Schulte. Oh, Ancelan boxes out, and he tracks into the end zone for the score. I thought Schulte had position, but it was clever from Ancelan, just pushing him too far underneath.
Yeah, little wily play from the veteran, but Jonas Schulte, really fantastic work so far in this game. We do have to credit that big number 3, 26 years old, originally from currently residing in Dusseldorf. What am I on about? But I have to say, I love the name of his school team, Sean's Sheep. But yeah, another, of course, of those under-24 athletes from last season, but has also had some good experiences along the way as well. And this is, I think, a team that just needs to take a little bit of time to get themselves into the season. Of course, Nullacht got that 7th place finish last season, so very much earned their place here at this elite invite. Sesquidistus, that backdoor opportunity to come here to the fields in Leuven, where we will be for quite a few years on the trot, and we're all delighted by it.
5 turnovers that point for Sesqui, 11 in total. Sesqui had only turned it over 3 times in the previous 14, so it's one of those points where it just feels like a slog, and I think, in a way, although obviously you want to score every point you can, both sides are just happy to get it over and done with a little bit.
Yeah, new point, fresh legs on the field, and 3 points left for Sesquidistus to take this one We're now at a quad score, 4 times their opponents, 12-3.
Schultz will begin the possession striding to the brick mark. Was thinking about the big option and slashes across the field from Pepperhofer. Pepperhofer bangs the backhand deep, tight down the sideline. Tracked well, second attempt, is it there? Not quite. Had to think about the back of the end zone, did Frida Lerker. She tried her very best and inches away, and it is the such fine margins that have gone against the Germans in this one. Couldn't quite get it at the first attempt, went for the adjustment, had to lay out at the back of the end zone, thinking about keeping that back foot down, but the disc is just too far.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 for effort there for Ruke, the 21-year-old from Leipzig. Mainly played for Pizza Volante, the under-20s team.
Here's a deep shot the other way. Moborgay is often the target on the turn. In those deep strikes, despite not being the biggest body, but that breakaway speed comes in clutch again. Bru to space, left for John Kofi! My man, what a play!
That was... I mean, John Kofi, we see that man lay out indoors frequently. So when you've got a lovely, bouncy, grassy field to be throwing yourself around, Joe Cole, why not? Beautiful scenes. You could see there was a little bit of hesitation, I think, from Tessier, looking over his shoulder being like, is that for me? Then he spots Jean Kofi out the corner of his eye. We'll get another look at that rundown as well from Moborgay. As you say, Benji, not the rangiest athlete, not someone you look at and you'd be like, oh, that's definitely a deep receiver, but she's a bit of a deceiver on that front. And Prue putting another stat on her board. That will be 3 assists now and the 1 goal for the D-line handler. 13-3, a 10-point lead for Sesquidistus, and well deserved. They really have shown a lot of extra class in this game. Nullacht, of course, that backhand huck from Pepperhofer was absolutely gorgeous. I think it was Pepperhofer, he might have been sat on the sideline, but yeah, that big backhand hook, really, really lovely touch on it. At long last, executing the right kind of shape on those bigger throws, but unfortunate misread.
Ostertag comes underneath. The cut slashes up line from Hermeking.
Ostertag, of course, a Rainbow Brigade athlete, who we will see again at Windmill this season.
Great to see that queer representation. Switch by the 2 handler marks for Sesquidistus. They'll do that quite a lot on those up lines, see if they can be a bit more efficient and also help stop those picks. Hermeking. To Schreiber, who watches that one all the way in, not going to take any chances. Hermeking for the Germans, leading Ostertag to space, tracks it down, grabs with the right hand. Hermeking again down the line, going every other on this possession, whatever it takes to get it over the goal line, and just about squeezed into Schenk for the score.
Well, it has been a little while since we've seen a goal for Nullacht. That was a stretch of 5 points on the bounce, including that marathon 11 turnover shot to take it to 12-3. But 2 points to go. But that is much more like it. I think Nullacht, clearly quite a vibesy team, really enjoyed the isolation plays from the front of the stack. You saw Ostertag doing a little bit of jab stepping back and forth, making himself available on that line. That final pass, Hermeking to Schenk, some of the big names, very experienced youngsters coming through here for Nullacht. A little bit of a spark, but I think the gasoline tank's quite far away.
How's your German, Hannah?
Sehr gut, danke.
So you know what Nullacht means then?
I have a feeling I don't. My vocabulary is not quite that good. But
Split it in half. Nullacht.
So 8 would be 8.
Yes.
0. I'm drawing a blank.
Is 0. It's 0-8 because they're obviously part of the Munster 0-8 club.
Oh, of course, yes. Those compound German words. I've never actually heard the word for 0 before now. Would you believe it?
Pick down the far side. Antoine towed it in bounds just to make sure that it was
You've got to catch
going to have
it.
the opportunity to tow it in bounds.
You've got to
bring
catch
it back.
it with the new rules.
Disc will stay in Sesquidistus possession though. Only the second time we've seen their O-line take the field this half. A little bit of a slip there, still rising, but Ansalan unfrees himself. And now zips down the sideline for Anthony Charnet. Back to Ansalan. I wonder if they want to get the disc a little bit more central, so they've got an easier angle of attack down that far sideline. Or Ansalan could just shoot it for the score. That works too. Benoit Lubert gets Sesquidistus within one of the finals.
Do you think that maybe there's a little bit of, dare we say, showboating going on right now?
I'm not sure that there is. I just think that they're putting maybe those plays in the margins a little bit more. And I think that's partly because Nullacht have intensified the defence, but also because Sesquidistus might be just trying to see what they can get away with.
Yep. I think that is exactly the case. It was a little bit of a leading question there, although I think also it's just that, as you say, seeing what you can get away with, but also kind of really leading their players to space. That's very rare that we're having to see any of the Sesquidistus players adjust backwards, do those little spins, those little catches on the hip. They have had a couple of squirrely ones. My mind goes back to some of the scoring passes we had in the early stages of this game for Sesquidistus, but they really are just putting the disc out on a platter for their teammates to go and collect. Sometimes that does require a layout, but just that extra bit of display for us here as we have our first match point. And I have to say, Benji, I do back Sesquidistus to take this on a break, just by virtue of, I think, Nullacht haven't really had their heads in, and the momentum still is in favour of the French and has been all game since that 4-0 lead they took.
They're definitely over rather than underthrowing them, I think is the general trend so far, saying that if we're going to get it wrong, we're going to get it wrong by being over ambitious rather than too conservative and putting it behind. It's always about throwing in front into space because they've got great athletes and they back them to bring them down. By the way, the semi-final behind us, 11-7 Lemmings lead, so big upset alert in that one. And I don't think Sesquidistus would mind seeing Lemmings, given that when they played deep space in the pool play, they went down 15-10. Schaefer fits it in to Schulte, and now gets it back. Schenk underneath. Schenk shooting down the sideline. Nice reaching snatch there by Schulte, and follows it up to Schaefer. Nullacht. Well, a clean hold, something that's only happened for them on scant few occasions this game, and it's nice to get another one, but it certainly is too little too late. Right, Hannah? Right.
Well, it's
something at least.
No, I mean, I really like the fact that they did have a fantastic O-line clean hold to just punch that in. I mean, you might get 1, you might get 3, you're definitely not going to get 10. It's not going to happen.
But you've got to start somewhere.
No, absolutely, and this is how you build a program, right? The whole point of Elite Invite is to try and develop these early season connections to get the momentum of the season going. And that was, interestingly, I think a little bit of bad defence from Sesquidistus, that the lack of communication, maybe not enough sideline presence to really assist Faramelik, because he could have dropped off and maybe tried to stop that little easy push pass for the goal there, but Sesqui's O-line will now punch this one in, I'm sure.
A good pull pens them deep in their end zone to start, but Sesquidistus unfazed. Well, still backed up somewhat. Ansalan finds the inside window to Balantan. Gay goes deep. I'm not sure this is going to draw just about. It teased Pepperhover and it reaches Kiki Gay. Now Petito, who's been remarkably quiet in this game, and yet Sesqui have ran away with it, which is a great sign for them. He's got Ansalan on the break side. Not much coming off the front. Whips the disc away on the mark and goes back to Petito. And maybe a little too much snap in that fake, because straight out of Petito's hands. First time Sesqui's O-line's turned it over since the very first point of the game. Having a little bit of trouble closing this one out. It's only a little bit of trouble, but hey, you never know.
I mean, Benji, we've only seen Sesqui's O-line come out 5 times so far this game.
There's the deep shot down the sideline, takes the wrong edge and fades harmlessly away.
Yeah, that's crazy, Benji. 5 O-line points for Sesquidistus versus 14 points for defense. Of course, we have seen lots of crossover of the players just to keep them warm, keep them heads in the game. Can they punch it in on the second ask?
Petito on the centre, quickly dumps off to Balantan. Has Shane poached and signals for him to clear through. Now still rising, Balantan looking deep again. This time Petito is the target. Well tipped, has to be backed up, and Fast collects his seconds.
Wow, we haven't really seen too much of Jacob Fast, but he's having a great point here.
With a rising, still trying to put it out into space. Balantan flash doesn't get there. Gonna have to be some recovery. Instead, it's the deep shot. Looking towards Berent at the back of the end zone. And Shanae gets the tip, refusing to be broken.
Well, this is really becoming quite the tussle. We love to see it. I have to say, I kind of feel like I didn't back Nullacht to come out in this point. I did definitely think it was going to be Sesquidistus just punching it home, but I'm loving to see the attack and the mettle that these youngsters are bringing to this point. Because, of course, to be fair to them, they are doing the smart thing, because EUCS ranking, Benji, every point matters.
It does indeed. Using the new algorithm system this year.
Although this one will be counted as a blowout based on the current score.
Yes, but still want to finish each game as strongly as possible, because it's not like the US style system where the algorithm decides the bids and then you have to play out at regionals. The algorithm does directly decide the placings at EUCF, unless of course you grab one of the wild cards, which is on offer for the winners here and for the winners of the summer invites as well. Petito, a leader up line from Ansalan. Balantan's going to take off deep. Poach drops off a little from Paperhover to dissuade it, and then that's well hit. It's Kiki Gay who goes back to Ansalan. Petito churns all the way through. Watches it a little bit. Gay's gone. It's a floater. Can he get it at the back of the end zone? He comes down with it, and we'll see Sesquidistus in the final this afternoon.
Well, Nullacht put everything and the kitchen sink into that defensive attempt. What a shot that was to gain in the end. Well, it was Sesquidistus' game, 4-0 lead. It's really difficult to drag yourself back from the brink in that fashion. Nullacht unable to get any breaks at any point during the game. Of course, we did have that back and forth final point and the back and forth first point. But the amount of clean defensive breaks as well is pretty staggering.
Sesquidistus were just a cut above their opposition on this occasion and are very worthy finalists, hoping to repeat their heroics of the first elite invite a couple of years ago, where they were the inaugural champions in the mixed division at this event. And there is the final score. Nullacht leaving everything out there, but in the end Sesqui just too good on the morning. That's going to do it for the end of this game. We get a brief delay before we kick off fully into finals. That starts with the women's final at 11 o'clock. And yourself, Hannah, and Steph Rapazzo on the call for that one for a rematch of last year's final, Jinx versus Yaka. I'm gonna watch that one with a big old smile on my face next to you, I'm sure.
You know what's my favourite thing about it is, Benji? We're not quite as windy as we were in Bern last year. There is a little bit of breeze today, though, to keep things interesting, and certainly seeing these beautiful fields out in front of us. Conditions are perfect.
In the meantime, the other mixed semi-final is still going on behind us, Deep Space versus Lemmings, so you can switch over to watch the conclusion of that one. Sean Colfer on the remote commentary for you there. But final score here in this mixed semi-final, Sesquidistus 15, Nullacht 5. We'll see Sesqui in the final this afternoon, and we'll see you on the other side.